Good evening. Welcome to Crawford W. Long Middle School's Go Team meeting, where we will follow the agenda as it has been emailed to you and publicly noticed. I am pleased to call this meeting of the CW Long Middle School Go Team to order at 5:34 p.m. I will act in the capacity of interim Go Team chair for this meeting. Our first order of business is to appoint an interim secretary and call roll. Ms. Kruger will serve as the interim secretary only for this meeting. Our official secretary for the 25-26 school year will be elected during this meeting. The interim secretary will now take roll. Our first order of business is to appoint an interim secretary and call roll. Ms. Kruger again is the interim secretary who will serve as the interim only for this meeting. Our official secretary for the 25-26 school year will be elected during this meeting. The interim secretary will now call roll.
Please say present when I call your name. Natasha Hall,
Present.
Harriet Dionese,
Present.
Veronica Cologne. Nope, she is absent. That person is absent. Courtney Ogletree. Absent. Tierra Barnes. I have Lorraine White is absent. Dr. Tucker.
Present.
All right, thank you very much. Did I miss anyone? I'm sorry. Calvin Sykes.
But he will be serving as a community member, and we will do that later after this meeting.
Okay.
The team will only be able to make an official action if a quorum is present. Ms. Kruger, is there a quorum present?
Yes, there's a quorum present.
Okay. Our first order of business is to approve the agenda. This was provided to you and copies are here. So this time you should see the agenda and I'm going to give you the opportunity to view the agenda. May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I motion that we approve the agenda.
A second?
A second.
Are there any amendments to the agenda? All in favor, please say yay or raise your hand so the secretary can record your vote.
Yay.
All opposed, please say nay or raise your hand. Any abstentions? Please say abstain or raise your hand. It is a motion that we approve the agenda. We will now move to filling vacant seats, the open community member seat and the open swing seat. Before we begin the process, I'd like to remind the Go Team of the following. The principal brings forth the nominations for vacant and open community seats. All Go Team members have only one vote per seat. Individuals filling a vacant seat will serve until the conclusion of the seat's term. Individuals filling an open seat will serve for the full 2-year term. Upon approval, individuals are immediately full Go Team members and may join the meeting. We will begin by filling our vacant seats. These seats have been vacated prior to the end of the seat's term. Individuals appointed to the seat will serve until the end of the seat's term. I have the following nominations for Go Team vacant seats and my rationale for their nomination. For our community seat, I nominate Mr. Calvin Sykes for this position. Mr. Calvin Sykes is one of our dynamic partners for Hartsville-Jackson International Airport. And this 2-year partnership that we have, they have provided several resources for the school, but at the same time, several exposure opportunities. This individual has had ongoing supports provided to Long Middle School, but at the same time, he's invested in not only the school, but at the same time, the students. And especially with him being of the younger generation, I think there's a lot to offer of the team itself, but at the same time, a different view from that of someone who's in a different position, such as Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. So this time, I nominate Mr. Calvin Sykes to fill the vacant position of the community member seat. Does anyone have any comments or discussion about this nominee? We will now vote on the nomination of Mr. Calvin Sykes for the community seat. All in favor, please say yay.
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 All opposed, please say nay or raise your hand. Any abstentions? Or raise your hand. We will now move to fill the open swing seat. This person will serve the Go Team for a full 2-year term. I nominate Dr. Dias Tucker to serve in the capacity of the swing seat for the Go Team. Dr. Tucker is our healthcare teacher here at Long Middle School. He has been invested in our school community, not only by the ongoing work that he does each day, but even outside opportunities that expose our scholars to health exposure, but at the same time, community exposure. We will now proceed to vote on the nomination of Dr. Dias Tucker for our swing seat position. All in favor, please say yay
Yay.
or raise your hand.
Yay.
All opposed, raise your hand or say nay. Any abstentions? Okay. Thank you for your nominations. We will now proceed to vote to fill the swing seat. Before we begin voting, does anyone have any additional comments or discussions about any of the nominees? Okay. Congratulations, Dr. Tucker and Mr. Sykes. You will serve as the Go Team swing seat for 25 to 27, and also the community seat from 25 to 27. We will review at this time. We will review and approve the meeting minutes from our last meeting. The minutes have been provided to you. If you look in your chat, you should have the minutes. Or if they're not there for you, please check your chat and the minutes from our previous 24-25 meeting or our last meeting in April will be provided to you. Ms. Kruger, can you let them know once those minutes have been dropped? Or if you could share your screen, which one is easier for you?
I put them in the chat, but I can share my screen too.
Okay.
I think.
Okay, are there any corrections to the meeting minutes? May I have a motion to approve the previous minutes?
I motion.
A second?
I
I
second.
second.
All in favor, please say yay or raise your hand.
Yay.
Yay. Yay.
Yay.
All opposed, please say nay or raise your hand. Any abstentions? Please say abstain or raise your hand. Ms. Kruger, were you
Yes.
able to capture that information prior to us moving on for our votes?
I was able to capture, yes.
Okay. We will now move to electing Go Team officers and representatives. Before we begin the nominations, I'd like to remind the Go Team of the following. Nominations do not have to be seconded. A member may nominate themselves. A member may nominate more than one person for any position. A member may decline a nomination during the nomination process. Members may not serve more than 2 consecutive terms in the same office or position at the same school. Nominees do not have to leave the room during the nomination period or when a vote is taken. If there's more than one nominee per elected office, each nominee will be offered an opportunity to share why they should be elected to the seat. The newly elected officers will assume their positions starting at the conclusion of this meeting and serve until June 30th. All voting members have only one vote per seat. First, we will elect Go Team's chair. As a reminder, the responsibilities of the chair include, but are not limited to, leading the Go Team meetings, working with the principal and Go Team to develop meeting agendas, ensuring every Go Team member has an opportunity to be heard, and monitoring team compliance. I will now open the floor to receive chair nominations. And Ms. Kruger, please make sure you record all nominations. Are there any nominations for Go Team Chair? I nominate Ms. Hall.
I accept your nomination.
Are there any additional nominations? Would any of the nominees like to decline the nomination? If there are no further nominations, I will close the floor. We will begin with the confirmation process. We have one person being considered for the chair seat. The nomination for chair is Natasha Hall. At this time, I will offer each chair nominee an opportunity to explain why they are the best candidate for the position. Other Go Team members may ask the nominees questions before voting.
Well, this would be my third time, I believe, serving as the chair. I think this is a great opportunity for myself. I am ready to lead. And I am ready to also be a follower. I know that we are up to the task that we have at hand.
Okay. At this time, please raise your hand to vote for your choice for Go Team Chair. Our first nominee for Go Team Chair is Ms. Natasha Hall. All in favor for Ms. Hall, say yay or raise your hand.
Yay. Yay.
All opposed, say nay or raise your hand. Any abstentions? Congratulations, Ms. Hall. You will serve as the Go Team Chair for this school year. Woo. Now we will elect Go Team's Vice Chair. As a reminder, the responsibilities of the Vice Chair include, but are not limited to, ensuring the Go Team follows parliamentary procedure, working with the principal and chair to develop meeting agendas, and acting as chair if the chair is not present. I will now open the floor to receive Vice Chair nominations. At this time, do we have any nominations for Vice Chair?
You said I could nominate myself.
Yes, you can.
I nominate myself, Chandra Kruger, for vice chair.
Okay. Thank you. I was about to nominate Ms. Kruger as well. Are there any additional nominations for Go Team Vice Chair? If there are no further nominations, I will close the floor. We will begin the confirmation process. We have one person being considered for the Vice Chair seat. The nomination for Vice Chair is Ms. Chandra Kruger. At this time, I will offer Ms. Kruger an opportunity to explain why she is the best fit for this position. Other Go Team members may ask the nominee questions before voting. At this time, Ms. Kruger, the floor is yours.
This will be my second year on the Go Team. Last year was my first year. I served as secretary. I gained a lot of knowledge being on the Go Team, and I would like to further that experience, stepping into a different position on the Go Team, but adding to the plan at hand and making sure that our kids are successful. And I'm also up for the challenge.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Kruger. At this time, we will now vote for our Vice Chair. Please raise your hand to vote for your choice for Vice Chair of our Go Team. All in favor for Ms. Kruger, say yay or raise your hand. All opposed or raise your hand. Any abstentions? Please say abstain or raise your hand. Congratulations, Ms. Kruger. You will serve as the Go Team Vice Chair for this school year. Congratulations. Now we will elect the Go Team Secretary. As a reminder, the responsibilities of the Secretary include, but are not limited to, posting Go Team documents, which include the agenda, summaries, and minutes to the website, taking minutes at the Go Team meetings, and ensuring the Go Team is in compliance with Georgia open meeting laws. I will now open the floor to receive Secretary nominations.
I nominate
Okay,
Ms.
Ms.
Delnice.
You
Are
took the
there-
words right out of my mouth, Ms. Hall.
Are there any additional nominations for Secretary? Would any of the nominees like to decline? If there are no further nominations, I will close the floor. We will begin the confirmation process. We have one person being considered for the secretary seat. The nomination for secretary is Ms. Delnice. At this time, I will offer Ms. Delnice an opportunity to explain why she is the best candidate for the position. Other Go Team members may ask the nominee questions before voting.
Good evening. I feel that I'm the best person for this position because I have had the experience of being the secretary 2 years previously. Learned a lot from the first year to the second, and feel that I would fulfill the role very efficiently based on what I've learned in the past. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we will now vote for your choice for secretary of our Go Team. All in favor for Ms. Delnice, say yay or raise your hand.
Yay. Yay.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Congratulations, Ms. Delnice. You will serve as the Go Team Secretary for this school year. We will now move to elect the Go Team's cluster representative. Cluster representatives may also hold an office position, such as chair, vice chair, or secretary. As a reminder, the responsibilities of the cluster representative include, but are not limited to, attending all cluster advisory team meetings, approximately 3 this school year, and reporting back to the Go Team on the CAT meetings. I will now open the floor to receive cluster rep nominations. I nominate Ms. Delnice for cluster rep. Are there any additional nominations? Ms. Delnice, would you like to decline that nomination?
No, it never occurred to me, but I think that that would be very interesting, a very interesting opportunity. Thank you for nominating me.
No problem. If there are no further nominations, I will close the floor. We will begin the confirmation process. We have one person being considered for the cluster rep seat. The nomination for cluster rep is for Ms. Anna Delnice. At this time, I will offer Ms. Delnice an opportunity to explain why she's the best candidate for this position. Other Go Team members may ask the nominee questions before voting. At this time, Ms. Delnice, you have the floor.
Thank you, Ms. Mccall. I'm looking over the cluster advisory team representative responsibilities, and I find that I'm really intrigued at the thought of going to the different level, going and interacting with other schools. And I'm proud of your recommendation to do this and look forward to fulfilling this well.
Thank you, Ms. Delnice. At this time, we will move to vote for our choice for cluster rep. All in favor for Ms. Delnice, please raise your hand or say yay.
Yay.
All opposed, please raise your hand or say nay. Any abstentions? Please say abstain or raise your hand. Congratulations, Ms. Delnice. You will serve as the Go Team cluster rep for this school year. We will now move to our next item of business in reviewing and updating or confirming our Go Team's public comment protocol. Public comment opportunities are available for Go Teams to hear from interested members of the community. From Section 3.4 of the Go Team Handbook, opportunities for public comment shall be provided at least 4 times in a school/fiscal year and noted on the Go Team's webpage and meeting agenda. Go Team members will not provide responses or engage in direct conversation during public comment. Each Go Team will determine a consistent method for receiving public comments and for parents and other citizens to sign up to address the team. At least 20 minutes of time will be allocated for the public to make comments at meetings where public comment is permitted. And the public will receive at least 2 business days notice of the public comment protocol. Please take a moment to review our current public comment protocol and information. Are there any recommendations for updates or changes to our public comment protocol? And here are some tips. The Go Team is not required to schedule a time for public comment at every meeting. Public comment should be scheduled for major action items, items that need a Go Team vote that will require public input or need public buy-in, Consider the schedule of the school community for those meetings that do allow public comment in order to give your community the chance to participate. Set a specific time for your public comment period. For example, you could allocate a 20-minute segment on the agenda for public comment and allow each member of the public to have 2 minutes to speak during that segment. Post a clear process for how individuals sign up or indicate they wish to speak. Go Team members should not respond during the public comment period. The public comment period is designed to gain input from the public, not for immediate response by the Go Team to the public comment presented. The Go Team should listen attentively to all comments and take the summation of the comments into consideration when making decisions. Remind the public that a scheduled public comment period on the agenda is not the only means for providing input. If there are urgent matters that need to go to the Go Team's attention, the school can organize information sessions, or the Go Team can schedule separate public comment meetings to gather that information from stakeholders. Now, at this time, we can discuss any updates that the team may have to our public comment protocol. May I have a motion to adopt this public comment protocol?
I motion that we adopt the public comment protocol.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say yay or raise your hand.
Yay.
All opposed, please say nay or raise your hand. Any abstentions, please say abstain or raise your hand. Adhering to the agenda, we will now discuss our meeting calendar for this school year. As a reminder, our Go Team is required to hold at least 6 business meetings this school year. This meeting plus at least 6 more. So this meeting does not count as an official business meeting. So that means 6 meetings other than this one. 4 of the meetings must permit public comment. 4 meetings must permit time for public comment. Meetings cannot be held during the instructional school day. Meetings must be live streamed. And meeting locations for hybrid meetings must be places where the public can be accommodated. May I have suggestions or recommendations for meeting dates and time? Remember, we must have 6 business meetings. And in front of you, you should be able to see the meeting calendar considerations. And when looking at those considerations, again, remember there must be 3 business meetings per semester. Fall semester 2025, the Go Team will be developing its 2025 to 30 strategic plan to align with the district's new strategic plan. So we must allow enough time to complete that work. Then we're looking at our budget meetings. And of course, you all know, especially with the last school year, those budget meetings are between late January and they could end at the end of March, early March. That includes the allocation meeting, which is probably in late January, the draft feedback meeting, early February or before the February break, and the finalization meeting, which is early March or after staffing conferences. And again, public comment should be allow at least 4 of those meetings. So at this time, can we start to discuss those meeting dates? And I've also had the opportunity, because of course there are other meetings and things that we may have all already reserved ourselves for. So I would like to think, when we're looking at this, also think about our sports or our coaches and things of that nature, those after school sessions we have. And so I need you all to think about that. So this is open for discussion. So my first, and I'll go ahead and lead that first, is everyone good with 5:30? That is the first thing. 5:30 on Thursdays. Will that work for the team?
Yes,
Okay, so right now, 5:30 on Thursdays looks like the standing time that would be most appropriate for the team. So let's go ahead and lock that date and time in 5:30 on Thursdays.
So
So now,
everybody's good with Thursdays, right?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear
I
you.
said I was making sure that everybody heard the Thursday part that you said, making sure everybody was good with Thursdays as well.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
so
Yes.
right now, like 5:30 on Thursday will work. So now, there are two different ways these meetings can be held. It could be the 8 meetings, or it could be the 6 meetings where we collapse some of those meetings into one. I think last school year we did the 8 meetings where we had 4 in the fall, 4 in the spring. But we also have the opportunity to do 3 in the fall and 3 in the spring, where those meetings in November and December would be combined. And that last meeting where we had it in April last school year, that would be in March. And we would do the full review of everything in March instead of waiting to April or May. So that includes the end of year closeout, principal and go team, and the go team self-assessment. So what we like to look at doing the 3 meetings, so that means September, so that means we will have another meeting this month, and then we will convene in October and mid-November, December, possibly before we go home for Christmas break? Or do we want to look at the 8 meeting view, where we will have a meeting in September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, and or May? So if we look at the 8 meeting, we will be doing a meeting every month. And if we look at the 6, we'll be doing 3 meetings in the fall, again, which include our next meeting being September, then October, and then we will have one in mid-November, December, and then we will convene again late January, February, and our last meeting will be in March.
I think I like this the last one, the 3 and 3.
Second choice. 6 and
Yeah.
6. I mean 3 and 3.
Yes, 6, please.
6 me, please.
Okay, so now we actually have to determine those dates. So if we look at the 6 meetings, if we look at the 6 meetings, right now we are at September the 4th. At September the 4th, so that means looking at the next Thursdays, we have the 11th, the 18th, and the 25th. And I'm just looking with the 25th, September 25th, and I'm
Yeah.
looking at the sports schedule also. At our game is we have a 24th game, but there's no 25th game. So based off of where we are now, would September 25th be a good date to have our first business meeting?
Yes.
And so
I
again,
agree.
that means we will have a meeting in September, October, and then right before we go home for that Christmas or right when we come back from that Thanksgiving break.
Sounds
So
good.
right now, we're looking at September 25th for our next meeting. Then now we'll move on to October. October, the Thursdays in October, we have the 2nd, the 9th, the 16th, the 23rd, and the 30th.
One of those weeks we have that winter break, right?
the
The
16th is
13th
during,
so the 16th is crossed out for us. So that leaves, do we want to do it before or after the winter break?
And we also have steamer wing, I think that Friday. So I
Thir-
think, yeah, so I didn't know if people would be trying to get ready for it if we had it that Thursday.
So we're looking at, and based off of what I'm hearing, and you all let me know, possibly October 23rd would be the best day. So that's the week after we come back from that break, but the week before our steamer wing. And because Halloween falls on a Friday, our event will most likely be that Thursday, the 30th. And so would October 23rd work for the team?
Yes, that works.
Yes.
Okay, so right now, Ms. Kruger, please make sure you're getting this. We have September 25th, we have October 23rd. Now let's move to November, December. In November, December, it will be finalizing the strategic plan updates and ranking our strategic priorities. It will also be a 45-day report from our map. And so now I'm looking at this. Because we're looking at map and things of that nature, I think that it may be somewhat easier because sometimes, of course, we have to get that data back. What about if we look at December 18th or December 11th? December 18th is the Thursday prior to us going on home for the holiday break. And December 11th is actually the week before we go home for that break. So that is the second Thursday in December to hold that November-December meeting.
I think December 11th might be better, partly because it's a pretty long gap between the October 23rd. And also that last week before we go on break, there might be some school events that will have us occupied.
Okay, and you're correct about that. So
I agree.
December 11th. Are we all in agreement for our November-December meeting being held December 11th?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, now let's move to our last three meetings for the spring. So now we're looking at 2026. Our first meeting being in late January. So those late January dates, we have the 19th, which is going to be the MLK holiday. So the only two Thursdays we have left after that would be the 22nd and the 29th of January. So this is up for discussion. Would we like to wait to that last Thursday, the 29th, to go ahead and hold that meeting? And this is the budget allocation meeting.
We out on that January 15th because I thought they usually hold the Martin Luther King Day for a Monday.
That Monday is the 19th.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the King holiday for the 2026 will be on the 19th. So
Okay.
we have the 22nd and the 29th.
I'm down for either.
I like the 22nd.
Okay, 22nd. Will that work for everyone?
Yes.
Okay, so right now for January, we're looking at January 22nd. Now, our February meeting, remember that we're going to hold the January meeting on January 22nd. So we're looking at February, and I don't have the school calendar in front of me to ensure that we don't have a break.
We have a break in February, but it's of a week for the kids and 3 days for the teachers.
So we may need to push that February meeting possibly to the 26th of February, only to ensure that we're able to get, because that will be the budget feedback meeting. So could our February meeting possibly be held on February 26th?
Yes.
Is that good for everyone? February 26th. And the last meeting, March. That will be the budget finalization meeting, end of year closeout, principal and go team self-assessment. And the last Thursday in March, the Thursdays in March are the 5th, 12th, 19th, and 26th.
Definitely not earlier than the 26th because that's too soon, isn't it? After February?
So do we want to say that March meeting will be held on March 26th, which is the last Thursday in March? And that will be our final go team meeting for the year?
Yes.
Okay, so right now I'm going to review the dates that we've pushed out for our Go Team meetings. Based off the Go Team meetings at a glance with 6 business meetings per year, our next meeting, which our business meeting number 1, will be held on September 25th. Our next meeting will be held on October the 23rd. The next meeting will take place on December 11th. The next meeting will take place on January 22nd. The next meeting will take place on February 26th. And the final meeting for the year will be held on March 26th, all convening at 5:30 on Thursday. Now we have to look at the opportunity for public comment. As a reminder, we must allow for public comment at least 4 times during the school year. Now that we have determined our calendar, may I have a motion to approve the calendar?
I motion to approve.
I second.
I apologize, but I want to make sure. Okay, now I apologize. Before us motioning to for approval, we need to determine which meetings will allocate time for public comment. And remember, we must allow public comment at least 4 times during the school year. I personally, and this is just me, I think any meeting where you're talking about budgets and things of that nature, public comment should be allowed. So that's looking most definitely at meetings 4 and 5, and also that's looking at meetings 4, 5, and 6, because if you look at that, those are the meetings that deals with the budget allocations, meetings, and the final decisions made with the budget. And so this is just my opinion that those last 3 especially allow opportunity to the public for the public's voice to be heard.
I agree.
But please, if you have any other meeting, and me personally, also possibly meeting number 2, because at that meeting, we will have had the opportunity to one, get all map data back, but at the same time, so we can look at our goals and look at the strategic plan for 25 to 30 to ensure that individuals are able to give any information they would like to give, or any information of how we could better serve our students based off of the goal, the strategic plan itself. So again, my opinion would be October, January, February, and March. Or if we do it at that December meeting, and that's prior to, because at that meeting, we're actually going to finalize our strategic plan, and we're going to rank our priorities. So possibly, and I'm sorry, those meeting 3, 4, 5, and 6, allowing for public comment. So again, the voices can be heard.
You said 3, 5, and 6, or 2, 5, and 6.
Initially,
3, 4, 5, and 6.
Initially, I said 2, 4, 5, and 6, but now that I'm looking at the focuses of the meeting and the data that will be presented, I would say 3, 4, 5, and 6.
3, 4, 5, and 6. We gotta have 4. I thought it was 3. Okay.
It's 4. And see, it looks different when you have 6 meetings compared to 8, because 8.
Oh, yeah, because I see.
So please make sure, please, especially our faculty and staff members, community members, because I want to make sure all voices are heard, and these are the appropriate meetings for voices to be heard. So if you are not in agreement, please come off of mute and let us know where you're standing. And if you are in agreement, please let us know so we can go ahead and proceed with voting. But please, if you have any suggestions, please feel free to give those suggestions. Okay, so right now it looks as if we have on the table that for our meetings that will allow public comment, it will be the meeting that will be held in December, late January, February, and March.
So wait.
Mhm.
So the second, why did you change it from the second meeting?
Because on the third meeting, we're going to be doing all finalization of the strategic plans and the updates, and we're going to be ranking the strategic plan priorities. So just to give individuals input when it comes to the ranking. So even if we do that before the public comment, before the public comment, we could see the eye and the view of, because in October, we're going to be looking at the SIP deep dive. So it's really going.
But at that second meeting, at that third meeting, we finalize it, but at the second meeting, we talk about it. So we don't want to hear what they got to say at the second meeting.
And see, I think that it's looking compared to the 4 meeting. Are you and I'm sorry, do you have the 6 meetings compared to the 8 meetings?
Also, in the 6 meetings, we do it all in one meeting.
Because if you
Okay,
look at
got
the
you. I
6
got you.
meeting, whereas November, December, if we did the 8 meetings, would be the 2025, 2030 strategic plan development. Then in December, we would come back and finalize the strategic plan and rank them. But now in that November/December meeting,
Mhm.
those two things are combined. So we're finalizing the strategic plan and we're ranking the strategic priorities. Whereas in November, what's there, we're doing it in October. So that SIP deep dive, needs assessment, goals, and 2025, 2030 strategic plan development.
Mhm.
So it's open to the floor. We know for a fact that those last 3.
Okay.
So that second and third one, it's up in
Because
there.
I'm just thinking, no offense, but that meeting already is going to be long and like an
Which one?
extended
Business 3?
meeting. Oh, yes, already going to be winded. I mean, not saying I don't.
I
I
understand what you're
understand.
saying. I do understand the time as far
Yeah,
as
and not saying I don't want to hear, but I'm just thinking about life.
previous experiences.
I
Yeah.
have
Okay,
the
and I
same
can see
thought.
where you're coming from, especially when it goes to the rankings piece and the amount
Mhm.
of time. So we could revisit that second one because, like you said, that will give us the opportunity to even hear those voices. So even when we start ranking,
And
we
we
can
can
have an
listen to
idea.
what they have to, yeah. And then
So
we can, because we've already heard their input one time, when we go to rank in that meeting, we could take down what they said into consideration when we are ranking.
okay, I do understand that. So based off of what I'm hearing now, those last 3 meetings, 4, 5, and 6, all that deals with budget, we'll have the public comment. And then we'll go to that October meeting also, where before we have that ranking of the strategic plan priorities in November and December, we'll allow the public to give us any input in October. So from what I'm hearing, it will be October, January, February, and March are our meetings for public comment. Okay, at this time, because we have had the opportunity to discuss, at this time, we have now determined our calendar. May I have a motion to approve the calendar?
Motion
I
to approve
motion
the
to
calendar.
approve the calendar.
I second.
Okay, all in favor, please raise your hand. All opposed, please raise your hand or say nay. Any abstentions? If so, say abstain or raise your hand. Please enter these dates into your personal calendar so you do not forget. And of course, we will make sure all members have a calendar invite with those dates to ensure that you are in attendance. Now we'll determine our Go Team meeting norms. We'll begin by reviewing the initial Go Team meeting norms. Does anyone have any changes to these norms? And I'm going to allow you all to read those norms as they're posted on the screen. Are there any changes you all may have to these norms that are in front of you? Okay, if there are no changes or no discussions in regards to changes, may I have a motion to adopt these norms for our Go Team?
I motion that we adopt these norms for our Go Team.
I second that.
Okay. All in favor, please say yay or raise your hand.
Yay.
All opposed, please say nay or raise your hand. Any abstentions? Please say abstain or raise your hand. We will now move to our discussion items. Next, we're going to discuss stakeholder engagement. As a charter system, the decisions the Go team makes shapes our school's future, and the best decisions come from hearing the diverse voices within our school community. When we bring families, students, staff, and our community into the work, not just into the audience, we get stronger ideas, better outcomes, and a shared vision we all can stand behind. Here's the challenge. We're going to look at our 4 groups: families, students, staff, and community. For each one, we'll answer 3 questions. Inform. What's a fun or unexpected way to keep them in the loop? Input. What's a meaningful way to get their ideas or feedback? And invite. How can we bring them into the work, not just the audience? Let's get creative, get specific, and push past the usual answers. Here's a challenge. We're going to look at 4 groups: family, students, staff, and community. For each one, we'll answer the 3 questions listed in front of you under inform, input, and invite. Again, let's be creative and let's push past the usual answers that we may give. So at this time, the floor is open for discussion. The floor is open for discussion regarding how we're going to make sure our families, students, staff, community are informed. How will we get their input? And how can we bring them into the work, not just the audience? I'm going to, I have already looked at some of the things we're already doing in the building for the sake of time, just so we could push that out there, but also some things that the leadership team has been looking at as next steps for us to make sure that all of these targeted audience are informed, they provide input, and they are invited. So you all let me know. And of course, I want you all to come off mic if you have anything, and your input is very much so needed. But when we're looking at the families, how can we keep our families informed? Of course, social media. So looking at short, upbeat videos that will provide updates from both the teachers and the administrative staff via text or social media. And that's almost such as weekly wins. So if we think about it, when we think of TikTok, when we think of Instagram, talking to the leadership team, if we just do quick tidbits going live as the 8th grade administrator, as the 6th grade administrator, as the principal, just to let our families know what's going on at our school. And of course, one of the great mechanisms that we have is social media. So just sending those quick upbeat videos just to inform parents. And that may be a robocall also, because we also utilize robocall, Class Dojo. So just those tidbits to keep our families informed. And then when it comes to the students, the great thing about it is we now have those digital boards in the hallway. So using those digital boards to inform them, but at the same time to get their feedback. Because a lot of times we don't get the students' feedback. So in order to do that, and I'm sorry, I'm going in the wrong direction of the board. So let me go again to the students to keep them informed. Having those spotlight stories. So putting it up on the board and spotlighting. So the same thing with like we do for for student of the month, pictures up, but just digitizing all of our information. So as the students transition throughout the building, they're able to see things going on in the building, but at the same time, they may even be able to see themselves. Then looking at the staff, shout out newsletters. Of course, trivia, any updates, and spotlighting our staff members. And we're currently doing those things as far as teacher of the month, but making sure we continue to be intentional about it and to keep them informed again by providing newsletters. So that is a push that we will have to do for the entire staff, because you do have those grade level newsletters. The community. We have to let them know the great things that are going on here at Crawford Loan. We have to keep them informed, whether it's again via social media, but at the same time, we have to make sure that even those media outlets, and when I say media, not just the local, but even within the district. So when we have things going on here at Long Middle School, we make sure that some form of media outlet, whether it's APS, whether it's a radio broadcast, or even if it's just like the Empire Boulevard, they receive an invite so they can know great things are going on here at Crawford Long. And I would also like to say, even making sure our partners, such as Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport, they see those great things, and we're able to work alongside them to share our story as well. When it comes to informing, are there any other ways you think that we could inform these target audience, whether it's the family, students, staff, or community? Please.
I had with all the ideas that you had, one way that every way was great, and I felt like that if we actually include like the kids, not like us as the teachers doing it, but infuse the kids into make sure they have their media releases, but just infuse them into like if we do a social media post, like make it into a skit. Or I know a lot of my students like to go into the bathroom. You know how you have those minute read papers, maybe like do quick posters because a lot of kids like to do Canva. Or if there is like something like an event like the Halloween thing that we have coming up, maybe we can get like a banner made or a poster made and put it on the side of the street. Since our marquee is not on the street, we can like put a sign like on, is that
Yard
Empire?
signs. It may be
Yeah.
easier for us to get yard signs to
Yeah,
put.
y'all, we can get yard signs and stuff made. Or just like how businesses have cards and flyers at restaurants and stuff throughout. Maybe we can ask if we can do stuff like that. Just small stuff. Just
Okay,
just
so I
getting the
got
kids
those
to show
ideas
their
down
face.
also to include with this information. And just let me highlight, because something you said with the kids and the skits. Right now, Dr. Robinson and Ms. Portiz, they're working
Yes.
news media broadcasts alongside
Mhm.
higher avenue of ways that students can put out information. So that is in the making. So I am happy that you lifted that, because we will have students more engaged and providing input beyond that of the morning announcements. Are there any more ways that we can inform our families, students, staff, and community? If not, we will move on to the input portion. And again, I will give you some things that I've jotted down based off of what we're currently doing and some things that we're working on. And if there are any additional things that you all could highlight, please make sure you give that feedback. Now for input. With the input, what's a meaningful way to gather ideas and feedback for our families? One of the biggest things I think would be either a quick poll, a quick digital poll, because sometimes the surveys that we implement, they're too lengthy. And we all know that sometimes people don't want to read through all that. So a quick digital poll through email or text about our events or our initiatives, just so they could get input. So whether it's the instructional program, whether it's events held by the parent liaison, as I stated, just a quick digital poll, 1 or 2 questions to get feedback. And that would be for the families. For the students, we have a lot of interactive platforms, Cahoots, we have Padlet, or a lot of anonymous suggestion boxes or ways that they could suggest things. So possibly doing an anonymous suggestion box for the students, or even an anonymous way to see how they think our school culture or spirit ideas. Because of course, we are uniform school, but at the same time, we've all been in middle school before. So we want to allow the students to give input on how do they think they should be able to celebrate themselves since they've been doing what they're supposed to do. So I think that, again, those interactive polls and suggestion boxes will be a great way to get input from the students. When it comes to the staff, structure feedback protocols. And when I say that, a lot of times we have meetings. We have ongoing PDs and things of that nature, but I don't think that the protocols to get the feedback is intentional and is there. So to make sure we have those protocols like Rose, Thorn, or Bud to let us know the next steps we need to take. And then the community, community roundtables or partnership breakfasts or some way that we can engage them beyond them coming in to support us. So maybe an annual partnership breakfast or business roundtable so we can discuss the supports that are needed for the school, but at the same time, we can talk to the community about how we can support them and so they can give their input. So those are a few ways that I've looked at, and those are some of the things that we're doing currently. But are there any other additions on ways that we could get input from our families, students, staff, or community? Okay, and last but certainly not least, invite. How are we going to bring them in to work and not just to come? So for our families, we have a lot of talent in our community. We have a lot of talent. So let's put that on the spotlight. So possibly co-led workshops or co-led sessions with our families. So if we see something that our families may be great at, allow them to co-lead alongside a teacher, not only to build that partnership, but just to allow them to expose the talents that they have. So again, possibly co-led workshops for our families. Then for the students, student-led communities. Student-led committees. I will say that our counseling department, they are great. They do a great job with that because we have our YAC team, because we have our student ambassadors, we have our PASS program, we have our student mentors. So just continuing to allow students to engage in those type of activities where their voices are heard. Next, how we can get the staff, allowing or creating more of a decision-making task force with the staff. Because we have the GO team, but we still need to hear the voices beyond the GO team. We have our department chairs, so even allowing the department chairs to serve as the liaisons for those grade levels and really allowing them to be the voice for their either grade level or department, and seeing how we could use those skills and the mindsets and the ideas they have to make decisions for the entire school. And that's the way we really could invite the staff members to become part of the decision-making process and not just feeling like they're in the work, but they're owning the work also. And last but certainly not least, how can we leverage our community members and how can we invite them in? Of course, to mentor students, to serve as co-host of events, to sponsor events in the school, and just to act as active partners. So at this time, when it comes to invite, are there any additional ideas of how we can bring in our families, students, staff, and community to work and not just to be a part of the audience? And again, I need all feedback so we can make sure all individuals feel invited.
I feel like everything you said was pretty good, pretty spot on.
So this is what I'm gonna do, Ms. Kruger. I will be providing you with that information so we can get it down, so we can make sure that as a school, we're on the trajectory to ensure that those four that we just spoke on, those four parties that we, and myself, most importantly, I collaborate with the leadership team so we can make sure we start before our next meeting to starting those areas, and we start those things that we said we were either going to start or enhance within the building.
Okay.
Now, next, we're moving on to our information items. We're moving on to our information items. APS personal electronic device policy. If you all are not aware, and I'm sure you all are, currently APS is now in alignment with the state of Georgia where personal electronic devices have been, I'm not going to say banned, but they could be out of reach for the 25-26 school year. So starting this school year, students will be asked to keep their phones up and away during the school day. Our personal electronic device policy is a longstanding board policy and is designated to support a focused, respectful, and distraction-free learning environment for everyone. Additionally, next school year, 26-27, in line with a new state law, HB 340. This will expand to include other personal devices like smartwatches, tablets, and headphones. Have you all been able to review the APS board policy and the PED regulation regarding cell phones? Thumbs up. Okay. Because you all have been able to review that information, I will not click on the boxes as you all have been able to review that information. So we will proceed with our next portion. Now, what are we doing at Crawford Long Middle School? To ensure a safe, focused, and distraction-free environment, all students are required to secure their personal electronic devices, whether it's a phone, tablet, earbuds, or smartwatches, in designated pouches in some classrooms upon entering their classroom. Otherwise, they're out of sight. And the purpose of this procedure is in alignment with the state and district policies on electronic device use during instructional time. How do we implement it in the building? Students place their devices in a classroom pouch immediately upon entry. Devices remain secure until dismissal from the class or until otherwise authorized by the teacher or any school staff members. What benefits have we seen? It promotes an increase in student engagement and academic focus. It reduces disruptions and off-task behaviors, and it supports equity by ensuring all students are learning without digital distractions. And how are we holding individuals accountable? Our faculty and staff, they monitor compliance each and every day, and students are expected to adhere to the policy daily. I would like to say, as we're discussing this thank you to the staff of Long Middle School, because they have done a great job being on the same page, making sure that phones are put up, even making sure if they see them in their hand, because we are in a distraction-free environment, even telling them to place them in their hand when the hallways. So I would like to say thus far at Long Middle School, we're seeing great things when it comes to this PDs in our school, but at the same time, I think we can see some shifts in certain areas because devices are not, they're not allowed in the classroom. We're almost to the home stretch. Now, we'll be discussing our leveling and fiscal year 26 budget adjustment. Leveling is the process of the district district uses to adjust school budget allocations to match student enrollment. So this year, our 15-day head count was taken on August 22nd at 12 o'clock p.m. At that time, our projected enrollment, and I do apologize because the number that you see there is incorrect. The number that you see there is incorrect. 613 was our projected enrollment. I do apologize. On the 15-day count, we were at 609. We were at 609 on the 15-day head count, which gave us a difference of 4 students. Again, we were at 1609 on the head count. That gave us a difference of 4 students. So if you do the subtraction, if you do 613 minus 4, that will give you our actual number, and that was at 609. So based off of that adjustment, we initially had 113,000 in the reserves, but because we were down by 4 projected students, we had a decrease. So our budget adjustment landed us at $89,693. Now, some of the writing is small, but I will go over based off of the $89,693. These are where the funds will go. And again, some of the wording is small, so if you need me to read it, please let me know. 35,000 will go towards bus transportation, and that is student transportation, non-charter, just APS buses. If you all are aware, of course, we have after-school all-stars and other after-school activities, but a lot of our students are unable to participate due to transportation. And to ensure that our students have the opportunity, but at the same time, they have equitable access to after-school tutorial, through to intervention and other things, we're going to make sure transportation is provided. So out of that adjusted number that you just saw, 35,000 will be allocated for transportation. Next, 20,000 for teachers, teaching and other supplies. The purpose of this, of course, is for instructional supplies and support. In order for us to get to our students to that next level, we have to have the resources within the building. So to target the gaps with intervention kits, manipulative lab consumables, and progress monitoring tools aligned to priority standards and replace shortages that force low rigor tasks. So there are even sometimes when we look at being a STEM school, we need resources that go beyond the scope of some of the things we have in the building. So those funds will be used to ensure that teachers have all of the supplies that are needed to provide quality instruction and enhance instruction in the classroom. Next, $7,000 for student admissions. Fund student entry fees for museum, competitions, college and career exposure to close opportunity gaps that depress engagement and achievement. And each trip will be tied to the standards, so it will be instructional based. So again, to expose our students, to provide them opportunities beyond the scope of the classroom, so they could be exposed through to the standards through lenses beyond the classroom. So that's $7,000 to support our students with any payments that need to be made for trips. Next, student transportation charter buses. Again, that goes back to the exposure piece to provide buses for standards aligned field experiences such as STEM sites, historical venues for social studies when district routes are not viable or we're not able to use those routes beyond a certain time. And again, ensures equitable access for our students who may otherwise not be able to have those exposure opportunities. So $5,000 will be used for charter bus transportation for our students. And again, it may not do all of the funding, but it will at least supplement those funds that we may have to ask the students for. Next, instructional employee travel. We have to prioritize PD for the staff because we need to make sure that beyond the scope of just within the district, we're getting staff professional development opportunities. So the 5,000 will be for PD for staff. Next, we have dues and fees instructional. This will be for dues such as the National STEM Honor Society or the Beta Club, or even students have to go to, let's say we have 1 or 2 students who may have to go to an event, but they don't have the funds. We will pay for them to receive those funds where we can make sure they have access. So that would be $3,193. Next, we have books other than textbooks for instruction. Of course, supplemental resources, but at the same time, literacy. We have to build our students' stamina when it comes to reading. So being able to purchase books that pique the interest of students so we can make sure that they're attempting to close that gap when it comes to literacy. That would be $8,000. And again, that also includes consumables and things of that nature. And last but certainly not least, teacher stipends. We have a dynamic group of individuals here at Long Middle School, and I see them going above and beyond. So of course, when they're going above and beyond, we may not can give them all that they deserve, but we want to find some way to supplement that work. So an additional $6,500 to supplement those individuals who will be supporting instruction, whether it's on Saturday, if we're granted the opportunity to incorporate some Saturday school, or if it's just for hourly teacher tutors to make sure our students are getting to that next level by giving them that support. Now, when you look at the next slide, we did not have any Title I holdbacks. So you see the 0, so there's nothing to discuss. Now, there were no personnel changes. There were no personnel changes because although we had an adjusted amount of 89,000, unfortunately, that would not buy any personnel. So we don't have, or we did not have to decrease any personnel, and that's a great thing. So there are no personnel changes. So all non-personnel changes are in alignment with what you just saw, and that includes student transportation, APS buses, teaching and other supplies, student admissions, teacher stipends, student transportation, charter buses, instructional employee travel, dues and fees for instructional staff, and books other than textbooks for instruction. Now, here's a summary of those changes. The proposed budget priorities strengthen the school strategic plan by addressing access, instructional quality, and teacher capacity to accelerate student success. Investments in student transportation, both APS buses and charter buses, ensure equitable access to after-school programs, tutorials, and enrichment, while funding for teacher supplies, admissions, and diverse instructional books equip both students and teachers with the resources needed for rigorous, engaging learning. Teacher stipends, instructional travel, and professional dues directly build staff capacity, retention, and leadership, ensuring best practices are implemented within the classroom. Collectively, and again, collectively, these changes remove barriers not only for our students, but also our teachers. They expand our opportunities for both students and teachers, and they also foster a culture of academic excellence, equity, and continuous improvement for all. Now, as we move forward, as we move forward, of course, if you are not aware, APS 4 2040, Reshaping the Future of Education. Task Force meetings, May 8th, 2025, and August 5th, 2025. This is based off the Comprehensive Long Range Facilities Plan. And I would like to say that we were afforded the opportunity to have a meeting here at Long Middle School. So for those who came out, you were able to get additional information. As many of you know, this task force plays a key role in shaping the future of our district's facilities, ensuring they are aligned with projected enrollment, instructional needs, safety standards, and long-term community use. Over the summer, the task force has been hard at work at reviewing data, exploring options, and engaging in important information conversations. As of now, we have had the opportunity to have several meetings within our clusters, and currently the options are being provided to our community members so they can see the options that are on the table. Mr. Murphy, are you available on the line to give any additional information, or has he? Okay, that is fine. So Mr. Murphy is no longer on the line, but he is a member of the Facilities Long Range Plan Committee. A report will be presented to the board at its August 11th meeting, and the options will become public the week of August 18th. So that has already happened. There are several upcoming public meetings where you can learn more and share your thoughts. The next public meetings are scheduled for October 20th and November 10th. On each day, there will be a virtual meeting at noon and an in-person meeting at the central office at 6 p.m. I strongly encourage you all to attend these meetings. This is a critical time for public input and to voice and your voice and for your voice to be heard. On Monday, September 8th, 2025, we will have our Grandparents Day to celebrate our dynamic grandparents of the C.W. Long Middle School community. This will be held in the school foyer and outside area in front of the gym. It will take place from 10 o'clock a.m. to 12 noon. I do apologize for that double time stamp. Again, it will be from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, and our theme will be giving our grandparents their flowers while they're still here. So again, if you all can come out, please make sure you come out. In addition, we will have our CW Long Curriculum Night / Title I meeting and 8th grade meeting on September 23rd. Additional information will be pushed out to all families soon. So again, our Title I / Curriculum Night and 8th grade parent meeting will be held on September 23rd. Now, all Go Team members, let's save the date. Let's save the date for our G3 Summit, which will be held Saturday, September 22nd from 8:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. at Atlanta College and Career Academy. This in-person opportunity is afforded to all Go Teams. At this time, hopefully all members can attend. and the entire Go team hopefully can be there. We need to come ready to collaborate, contribute, and to create the future. Come learn more about the school's 25 to 2030 strategic plan, stakeholder engagement, and APS for 2040, and much, much more. Again, this will be held at Atlanta College and Career Academy, 1090 Windsor Street, Southwest, on September 27 from 8:30 to 2:30 p.m. So please save the date, and I hope to see the entire Go team at the G3 Summit. All Go team members, please remember, if you have not done so already, especially our new members of our team, especially new members of the team, please make sure that you complete all required orientation within 1 year of joining the team and must be renewed every 4 years. Again, please make sure you complete all training within 1 year of joining the Go team, and you must renew it every 4 years. Failure to complete the orientation training result in removal from the Go team. Please contact the Go team if you have any additional questions. Again, I would like to thank each one of you for coming out today and being a member of the Go team. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I look forward to the great things that will be happening this school year at Crawford W. Long Middle School, and also looking forward to the dynamic input that will be provided for the Go team. At this time, are there any additional announcements? If all hearts and minds are clear, we will officially adjourn the organizational meeting for the Crawford W. Long Middle School Go team at 6:57 p.m. Again, I thank each one of you, and everyone have a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.